Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Craven County where two people are now facing charges after a traffic stop netted a drug arrest. Yesterday, deputies say they pulled over a car on Broad Street near Fleet Street for a traffic violation in Craven County. Deputies say the stop led them to search the car where they found nearly 2 ounces of fentanyl, cocaine, marijuana, and cash. 37-year-old Angelo Manning and 37-year-old Jessica Charles were arrested following the stop. Both are facing the following charges: 3 felony counts of trafficking fentanyl, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver cocaine, possession of cocaine, possession of a Schedule I controlled substance, possession with intent to manufacture, sell, and deliver a Schedule VI controlled substance, and maintaining a vehicle for the sale of controlled substances. Now, Manning and Charles are in the Craven County Detention Center with bond. And now we want to turn to the latest from President Trump as, again, the meeting in Davos continues to wrap up, and reports are that he has now signed a Board of Peace charter with some allies split on whether or not they are going to join the charter. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has more.
Overnight, President Trump arriving back in the U.S. after a whirlwind trip to Switzerland, where he says he scored a framework of a deal to expand America's presence in Greenland.
It's really a negotiation, but it's infinity. The time limit is infinity, meaning there is no time limit, it's forever.
NBC News has learned the president has discussed adding American troops and more military bases in Greenland, in part to support his Golden Dome missile defense system, which is still in its planning stages, according to 2 former U.S. officials.
Does this ultimately mean that the U.S. will ultimately acquire Greenland?
Well, I don't know if I can say that, but it could be. I mean, it's possible.
An existing Cold War-era treaty between the U.S. and Denmark already allows the U.S. to expand its military presence in Greenland. So how will this be any different?
Much different, much more detailed, much more generous to the United States.
Is Denmark on board with this concept?
I think everyone likes it. I think. I'll let you know in about 2 weeks.
The president also clashing with other top U.S. allies, overnight withdrawing his invitation to Canada to join his so-called Board of Peace, a new international organization created after the Gaza ceasefire, where he serves as chairman and the only person with veto power. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney slammed Trump for his threats to Greenland, prompting this response from the president.
Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Carney firing back.
Canada doesn't live because of the United States. Canada thrives because we are Canadian.
And again, that was Gabe Gutierrez reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast. And again, we continue to see warmer and warmer conditions present on Sunday, eliminating, again, more of the ice threat that was planned for Sunday night into Monday. Now, we are still, again, anticipating some icy conditions late Saturday and into Sunday morning. But by the time we get to around 10 a.m. on Sunday, most of our air temperatures are going to be at or above 32 degrees and continue to get warmer into the upper 30s for your Sunday afternoon, creating more of a cold rain event. I know it's not well, I'm sure there are some who wanted to avoid the ice. The ice was kind of the worst part. So at this point, we are avoiding the worst of it. Yesterday, we were looking again at air temperatures rising, but still below freezing Sunday night into Monday morning. But now we've got those temps too close to freezing to promote any sort of real icing concern over the very end of the weekend. Of course, Saturday night and Sunday does still very much warrant your attention, especially if you're doing any driving early Sunday morning. That's when things are going to be the most treacherous. But for now, this is a system that is now looking like it's going to impact areas further to our north versus, having us in the center of the game. Now, we do have some light raindrops coming down across parts of eastern North Carolina right now. This is a part of the low pressure system that's going to give us that cool down, the drop in air temperatures that will take us later on tonight down into the mid-20s. Raindrops today should be light and scattered. That's kind of what we're seeing as we speak right now. New Bern getting a little wet. We've got some more rain right now moving over Duplin and Wayne counties, even Sampson County seeing some drops, but certainly not anything you need to worry about too much. I'll encourage you to get your windshield wipers working, but that's about all those raindrops are going to do. Now for air temperatures, currently in the mid-40s to low 50s throughout most of eastern North Carolina. Later on today, we are likely going to see those air temperatures plateau in the low 50s. Not going to get a whole lot warmer than what we're seeing outside right now. A lot of that has to do with cloud cover and a lack of sunshine, but we also have a northerly breeze that's bringing in some cooler air. That breeze is blowing at about 4 to 8 miles an hour, but as far as again, overall structure of the atmosphere moving into this weekend, this system today is going to be the driver of cold air. Whenever we're talking about really winter weather, you got to have cold air and you got to have moisture. Getting both of those together is much easier said than done here in eastern North Carolina. So for tonight, that low pressure system rolling by, that will set us up with the chill that we need in order to see, again, maybe a few snowflakes, but more so sleet and freezing rain as we head into Saturday. But then watch the track of this low that you're seeing back towards Texas and Oklahoma. This is the one that was expected to stay far enough south to pretty much cross over Myrtle Beach and then move over Cape Fear. So that was the original trajectory of this low. We're going to put it in motion now, and you can see where it actually ends up. Moving northward, set up over central Virginia. Again, too far north. Once that low moves up to our north, we are then considered to be in the warm sector. It's not even considered to be. We will be in the warm sector, and that's going to bring in just enough heat to really eliminate that freezing rain threat and certainly eliminate the snow and the sleet from possibility coming up late Sunday night. Now, those of you watching closer to I-95 certainly still have the opportunity to see your Sunday night lows drop down below freezing, cold enough to perhaps create some icy slick spots on the roads as you wake up Monday morning. But for right now, I would say those of you watching along and east of Highway 17, looking again at more wet conditions over Sunday than ice conditions. That is good news. Don't want to have to deal with ice, don't want to have to deal with power outages when the temperatures are down. But of course, we've got to get all of that rain through eastern North Carolina. So it is, again, going to be a wet weekend. It's one that probably not going to want to spend a whole lot of time outside. 37 degrees coming up on Sunday. Again, warm enough to melt away ice, and well, with rain showers coming down, it's only going to enhance that melt process because the rain, it's not going to be freezing rain. It's going to, again, just be raindrops. Overnight lows staying, again, just above freezing. And well, you're going to need to get into the upper 20s if you're really looking, again, for a good freezing rain event, especially with air temperatures getting as warm as they're going to be coming up on Sunday. Now, when I say warm, I'm talking about above 32 degrees. By most accounts, 37 degrees, it's not a warm day, but it's warm enough to eliminate that icing chance. Again, does look like we may end up having school on Monday. We'll see how everything progresses throughout the weekend. But right now, it is Saturday night into Sunday morning that we really want to highlight for you guys as far as dangers go on the roads. After that, coming up next week, we stay cool and chilly. And for those of you who are disappointed about this forecast turning more wet than snowy, we do have another opportunity for some snowflakes coming in next weekend. Now, I don't want to hype that up too much, but at least give someone or some people out there who were hoping for snow the opportunity to kind of wish on something and understand that we're not completely done with our snow chances quite just yet. We're just done with them pretty much for this weekend. Coming up next weekend, though, there is still that opportunity. We may end up getting things falling together just right to give us perhaps maybe a couple inches of snow on the ground. Well, that's all we have time for today's 11 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour, and we may again be live with the governor, who's going to again be holding a press conference in Raleigh regarding the storm and regarding impacts. Those of you who may be traveling west this weekend need to understand that once you get on the western side of I-95, not going to be exposed to quite as much warm air is what we are going to have here in eastern North Carolina. So the icing threat certainly gets quite a bit higher once you get west of I-95. I do want to make that absolutely clear that just because eastern North Carolina is not looking at the same sort of icing threat that they have in the western part of the state, that if you are heading that direction, you do need to be aware, even on Sunday, again, for more slick spots and more opportunities for ice across the central part of the state, the central part and even the western part. But again, that's all we have time for. We'll be back again with the governor's press conference coming up, should be around 11:30.